crash a car into your best friend's house.
So can I talk now?
Yeah.
It all started with a little company called Lab 305, where we started making little things with the laser cutter to sell. Bea and I found ourselves working a lot together, and we spent more time together. We found out certain characteristics that we really liked about each other, and before we knew it, we were in a relationship.
I think everybody else saw it before us. That's what made it special, I think, for me, because I always say that I wanted to get together with someone that I was very close to first, but then I didn't even see how close we were getting until she was right in front of me.
And apparently I realized a lot later than she did. So she was getting really impatient.
How did you ask her?
Well, it was 7th of November, and I brought her out to watch Swan Lake, the ballet show.
But he slept.
As I do at every show. So we went to dinner first, and then we went to see Swan Lake. And after that, we just took a walk around the city, and we parked ourselves at Fitzway East, near the park, where the Ferris wheel used to be. As we faced the city, I asked her out.
No, he said, everyone's expecting something from you today, right?
Whatever. I knew what she was expecting anyway, so I just sealed the deal.
And then we held hands for the first time. But it was really weird because it was like you hold hand with people like that, right? But with Sam, it's sort of like that.
Yeah, I think this.
Alright, next question.
First impression.
I didn't like it. I think I even told Rod, so I'll never get together with a guy like Sam. But he was very different.
How different?
Very intimidating. I think as he is now, but now I'm sort of catching up with it as well.
Okay. My first impression of her was, I don't know, I didn't really think anything. It was very neutral. I didn't hate her and I didn't like her. She was just someone that existed. For me, it's as we spent more time together, and I really saw what she was made of, and what was driving her heart, and I just slowly discovered qualities about her. But at the same time, like when we were doing work, and we used to rent a studio out in Elwood, and we would always drive from the city to Elwood, and from Elwood back to the city, and we would always stop by the beach just to de-stress, or just to spend some time. And through our conversations, we really discovered another part in the person that we didn't really think anything of.
No, I think the same for me. There was no one bang moment where Sam's the one, but it just developed. Pet peeves.
What does that mean?
If I start, I may not stop.
Oh. Time to do! Or come on, Bea! What else? Actually, not many. She's a very nice person.
My turn. Everybody will know. Never stop. It never stops. Not cleaning yourself properly.
I clean myself up.
Especially your ears. Can't say that it's my pet peeve, but then the fact that we cannot make it through a whole movie is quite annoying sometimes. Otherwise, nothing's deep.
Firstly, it's self-preparation, like preparing myself for marriage and getting ready to propose. I think that was the toughest bit. But beyond that, it was getting the ring organized, which Rizong, Alicia, and Adele helped me out a lot with. Initially, we were going to do it on my birthday. It didn't happen, so we pushed it back to do it in August, up in the snow, which worked out well actually. Yeah, we're here now. I think firstly the ring. I worked with the jeweler in Tasmania, and our correspondence was by phone and email. And so when you're talking about diamonds and precious metals, it gets a bit. I got a bit nervous as to whether this guy would deliver, but in the end, we have a ring. Secondly, the proposal happened in the snow, so I couldn't suss out a location before the trip, so that was a bit tricky. But also the weather I was a bit nervous about the weather, but God was really good. We had a fantastic weather and we had a fantastic location too. And I had a really good crew helping me out to suss that out and to keep this a secret. And that was another tricky thing because B is the most suspicious person when it comes to this, especially when she talks about it nearly every day before the proposal. Nearly every day. Yes. Anyways.
You expecting did anything give it away?
No, not even Alicia. I actually thought if any time when it would happen, I would expect Alicia to give it away, but for some weird reason, I think somewhat divine as well, I didn't think about it at all the whole weekend. I just remember thinking that, wow, Sam's really good because he was the first one, like, standing up to wash the dishes, and he was the one driving us, and then wasn't even complaining at all as we all slept for 6 hours long. He was, drying all of our clothes, and I was like, wow, I think I could live with this guy forever, but I never thought about whether or not he was going to propose that weekend.
This was the advice that Alicia gave. She said, "Better not piss me off and all throughout the whole weekend." So
you better thank Alicia.
thank you, Alicia.
Your side of the story.
Not much to my side of the story. When we stopped to take photos, it was just a pretty place. I really didn't think anything of it. I just remember wanting to stop down and buy ice cream. And then we walked further in, there was a little hill and there was some kids tobogganing, and I was like, oh, I want to go and ask if I can borrow the toboggan. And then Sam was like, now? I was like, if not, when? And then he was like, babe! It's like, yes, I'm right here. And then next thing I know, she was on his knees and he was saying, I know you won't do forever, but will you do forever with me? And then, to be honest, I really don't know what happened after that, because I remember thinking, oh, I can't believe he's playing a joke with this kind of thing, it's so serious. And then I saw everybody taking out their phones and taking videos, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then, yeah, it was all a blur. That's my saddest story.
How come you fell down?
Actually that was it. When he yelled at me and I turned to look at him, he pulled out this white thing from his pocket, and we were playing snowball fights before that, so I naturally assumed he was going to throw a snowball at me, so I turned to run, but then because I was on a mound of snow, I fell, and then that's when it all hit me that that's too hard to be a snowball, and then yeah, he was on his knees, and it took very long for it to piece together. I think it was a good minute or so that I was just like,
I think it was just very nerve-wracking, to be honest. It was the night before I was lying in bed, and it was very difficult to fall asleep, and I could hear every single whisper. Next door I could hear Rizong and Alicia like whispering to themselves, and yeah, it was very nerve-wracking. That morning itself, it was just, my heart was beating faster than ever, and I'm sure everyone who went on the snow trip were equally as nervous about this thing.
Except me.
Yeah, but when we stopped to take photos and we went down and I just thought that we'll just do it then and do it as quickly as possible before she suspects anything. So I got down on my knees and what seemed to me as a normal volume, just hey, apparently it was a very, very loud shout. So yeah, I couldn't control my volume at all. So I got down on my knees and Bea fell as she fell for me. So yeah, she fell and then she got up and then she walked towards me and then she fell again. So she fell for me twice. And I was watching the playback the other day and it seemed like just a short 30-second thing, but to me it seemed like the longest time ever. I was just on my knees. I was like, and there was just silence and she just kept staring at the ring and she walked towards me and I was like, so babe, are you gonna marry me? And in the end she said yes, but it was the longest time ever. But just a relief after that, such a big relief that it was all done and we can look forward now to the next phase of our lives.
Could he have done it better?
Aiyo. No, I think it was so well planned that I think for me it all hit when I realized that he was posing and I saw Malaysia and Adele and Bea and Youngshi, and I realized that they had been in on it for so long. That's when I realized that, oh my gosh, he planned it for so long and I just didn't know anything. I think the only one thing perhaps is if he didn't take it so off guard, if he had just said a few things before that at normal volume, maybe it would have prepared me a bit more, but then otherwise I cannot imagine it.
She sits and she waits by the tree, and she thinks no one comes to me. Heard it before. She stands there all alone, staring blanket and telephone. But she's sure, so sure. Come away with me, baby. Join me in my car. We can go real far away, away from here. Just come away with me, baby. Join me in my car. We can go real far away, away from not his fame. What's your pride? You're gonna want me. He seems way down low, way down where it doesn't go. Down inside, Just come away with
Guys,
Did you know?
everyone knew that.
Why do you think we came to the freaking snow? We don't like snow!
You all knew? Yeah.
We can go real far away, away from
You're not
here.
supposed to be.
And I'll show you the way to my heart. Won't you come find me? You come find our way at the start. Don't try and say, don't try to explain that you'll buy your time.